talking about a lot of things that you need to do to pick yourself up and get yourself going. And one of the things is consistency. And consistency is going to help you in any way, shape, and form. There's no way that being consistent is going to not help you, because when I look back and I see all the things that I've done where I've made mistakes as a real estate agent or a loan officer, I'm like, wow, if I was just consistent, I'd be a quadrillionaire now. A quadrillionaire, is there such a thing as that? So, one of the things I want to talk about today is the reality of trying to buy a home in today's market in the United States. And a lot of people think that they can't do it. And so I started talking to a lot of people yesterday, and I talked to several of them who said, "Good morning, how you doing?" I said, what are your chances of buying a home in today's market? And the first person I asked said, I think that the problem is something like I mentioned in a couple other videos, is financial literacy. And I don't think people don't know what they don't know, or they don't know that they don't know something. Because good morning, how you doing? It's Ellie. And thank you for joining me. I love that you're here. You have your real estate license. So not only, I think that it's really great. And one of the things I did back in the day when I first started in real estate was I did financial classes. And I teamed up, I was a loan officer, and I teamed up with different real estate agents. And I looked for community centers where I could educate people on how to buy property. The hard part is getting them to believe that the American dream, I almost messed that one up, or I did. The American dream is not just a dream, it's a reality, and you have to reach for it and you have to set up for it. You can't just one day go, well, I think I'm going to move out and oops, I don't have any money. I don't know anything about this, so I'm just going to rent. Don't feel that way, because quite honestly, if you're educated and you learn about it, you can learn how to set yourself up for success. And if you don't set yourself up for success, who is? So today's topic is, things that you don't know and how to get into the US market. Now, I will say, I've said this story a million times. Your husband and you bought your house. I don't have the rest of it. When did you buy your house? How long ago? And, I want you to put in the comments ideas for people who don't think that they can buy a home. Because the young man that I spoke to today, he was like probably right around 28 to 30 years old. And he asked me to drive him to the airport. He's just a friend of mine. And, I said, do you think that you're ever going to be able to buy a home? And he said, are you kidding me? The American dream is completely gone. My generation isn't going to be able to buy a home. And that's not really true. You just have to stop. You have to stop. You have to be consistent. And like yesterday, I told class, this is what I want you to do. I want you to do a budget. Where's your money going? Because basically what happened, I realized when I got dressed this morning, there's like a thing right there. And so cover it with my hair. Anyway, I'm a real person. I'm like anybody else. I stutter and I have little things on my clothes, and then I figure out how to get them out so I don't have to throw them away, that kind of stuff. Anyway, you have to sit down and you have to start somewhere. And starting somewhere first is, what are you doing with your money? And I didn't say that to the young man this morning. Yesterday, I was talking to my boyfriend, and we were talking about his kids and my son and the differences of how they grew up and what's going to make it so they're successful or they're not successful. And he said that he thinks the problem with younger people today is they're not learning from their parents the right way to use money. And, before they even have it, it drips through their hands. And before you even have money and before you even plan what you're going to do with it, you've already spent it on a credit card. And for some reason, the credit card companies just go after those young college students that have student loans. Now they have credit card bills. And it's so easy for a child to watch their parent. Oh, we're going to the grocery store. Swipe. Oh, we're going to McDonald's. Swipe. Oh, we have to get new shoes. Swipe. And they just keep swiping that credit card. And before you know it, the bill is really high. And I said to them, I'm like, you know what? I got to say this. I've been taking care of my 93-year-old mom. And, I didn't really think about it. I was doing her grocery shopping and I was paying mostly cash or just putting it on a small credit card or debit card. I didn't pay attention to it a lot. And then I got used to using Instacart. And Instacart's good because you actually get some discounts. And it's really great when you can't get to the grocery store. And then I started using Instacart for myself. And what ended up happening was I use it on my Apple Pay, which is connected to my phone. So it's really hard. I mean, I'm sorry, it's really easy to go ahead and order your food, have it come to you, have it go on Apple, and then kind of forget about it. And I don't know why Apple Pay gives you, I don't know about you guys, but it gave me a really high limit. And before I knew it, I went to go pay the bill and I saw it and it was like $4,000. And I looked at it and I went through all the, and it was all Instacart, Instacart, Instacart. And it was, my mom's groceries, my groceries. And I looked at that and I'm like, okay, now I'm paying interest on all that stuff. When I had the money, I just was being lazy and I didn't go to the store. So that's not going to get you anywhere if you sit down and you be consistent and you go, okay, what do I really need to buy? Because when you're sitting there doing it on Instacart or when you go in the store and you don't have a grocery list, I find that when I don't have a grocery list, I spend almost twice as much money as I do when I have a grocery list. So one of the other things you need to do is when you go grocery shopping or when you're going to go to the store is go in for a reason. What are you missing? What do you need to buy? And only buy what you need and make sure that you stick to the list. And it's good to make a list because you might be low on something and you're like, well, I don't need to buy it now, but then I won't have to come back to the store. Because every time you go to the store, you end up spending more money than you should. So the first thing that young people have to do is realize swiping is going to get you into a credit card problem. And you need to sit down and budget. That's number one, and be consistent. And once you be consistent and you get a hold of your finances and you know what you're spending your money on, then you can look at ways you can bring it down. Because what you want to do is you want to be able to start saving it, not really just for the down payment and closing costs. And if you talk to a real estate agent, you're going to find they're going to kind of scare you a bit because in today's market now, buyers have to pay for their own real estate agent. Well, it's not looking like it's coming out like that. What it's looking like is buyers are going to find homes that they can afford, that they can offer to the seller, hey, I'm going to offer you X, but included in my offer, I'm going to have a commission for my buyer's agent of X amount. So just because now, I have to have down payment, closing costs, and a buyer's agent, just because you think you have to have all that, you really don't have to have that. What you need is you need a good real estate agent or a good loan officer that knows about the down payment assistance programs. Now, I've got to admit, and I admitted this the other day, when I saw real estate agents or loan officers advertising that they had down payment assistance programs, I thought they were full of crap. And most of my buyers ended up, they had the money for the down payment. They didn't think about a down payment assistance program. We didn't talk about one, and they just bought a home. But then one day, I had a buyer that really wanted to own a home. And I said, there's got to be a way. And you have to work with people who know that there is a way. And so I researched the down payment assistance programs. And you don't have to have somebody look for them for you. You have to decide where you're going to buy. Because different cities and counties have their own down payment assistance programs. And now what's happening is we're looking at shared appreciation mortgages where you can have somebody, if your parents can't help you do. So one of the things that my parents helped me do, okay, was after I had my first home, I took an equity line of credit out and I bought my next home. And then I wanted to move on to the next home and I didn't have enough money and I already took equity out of one house and the other house didn't have enough equity yet to buy the house that I'm in. And so I said to my dad, Dad, if you can give me the down payment, I can make the payments. And then after, let's say 3 to 5 years, let's see where the equity is, I can refinance and pay you back. And by that time, I'd have 2 rental properties and the house I'm living in. And so he agreed to that. Well, not a lot of people have parents that have money or parents that taught you financial literacy. So my dad agreed to that. He put down the down payment. He actually got the loan under his name and I made the payments. And then when we got to a certain amount of time, the house went up $200,000. I refinanced it. I gave him his $100,000 and then I went on to the next. And the only way that you can do this is if you start with a plan. And so I want to help you guys start with your plan. So the first thing you are supposed to do, if you haven't done it yet, is sit down and figure out how much money you're making and how much money you're spending. And the reason you're putting money away is not just for the down payment or maybe paying your real estate agent or the closing costs, because we can take care of that. There are down payment assistance programs. Like I said, the city, the county, the state has down payment assistance programs. FHA has one of the best down payment assistance program. And I don't think a lot of loan officers know about the FHA program, because with the FHA program, there's no income limitation. So if you're a first-time home buyer, and actually on FHA, you don't have to be a first-time home buyer to do 3.5% down. But if you're buying a house that you're not going to live in, an investment property, then you have to show that you have a larger down payment and that the rent is going to be the same or more than the house payment. So let's start with the house you're going to live in first, and then we'll start talking about investment properties. We're also going to talk about reverse mortgages, because reverse mortgages have a bad myth. Anything that has a bad myth, I'm going to get rid of everything with bad myths. So the first thing, the bad myth is the American dream is gone. It's not gone. You can still buy a home. You just have to start small. You can't go, okay, I'm going to move out of mom and dad's house and I'm going to buy a 3,000 square foot house. Or I'm going to move out of mom and dad's house and I'm going to buy the perfect 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom in the perfect location where everybody wants to buy a home. You have to start small, because, depending on your income, you may not qualify for the loan to start where you want to be forever. So the house I'm in forever is the third property I bought. The first property I bought was a piece of crap. It still is, I hate to say it's still a piece of crap, but I really would like to remodel it. But when I moved out, I rented it out, and a young lady and her son, a single mom, moved in. They were there for 10 years. And then I had somebody else there for 5 years. And now the person that's in it now is 6 years. So being a landlord isn't as hard as everybody thinks it is. You just have to follow the people who know what they're doing and know what they're talking about. Because if you look at the long term, if you have a rental property, that rental property will pay you rent. And when you get older, you're going to have something to collect on so that you have a retirement. Because you have to start from scratch with financial literacy. Understand that money's a tool to help you get to where you want to go. And you have to learn how to use that tool. And if I can teach you how to use that tool for free on my YouTube channel, I am totally here for you. And like I say, I know a lot of you cannot get on when I'm live because you're at work or whatever you're doing, but put in the comments what time might be better for you so that you can be on live and ask me questions. If you have questions, put them in my comments and I'll do a video on your questions. So like I said, I'm here to help you with your American dream, and I'm here to help you every step of the way, even when you get to the point where maybe you want to talk about what your parents' house is doing, and maybe your parents are getting older and you want to know, maybe they shouldn't have their title as joint tenants. Maybe they should have their title in a living trust. Now, I'm not an attorney, but I am going to go forward to that. I will move all the way into that. I'm going to talk to an agent today that does only probate, and we're going to talk about from the very beginning all the way to the end, because if you're somebody who has an elder parent and you know you're going to inherit their property, you got to figure out how to keep on that property, okay? Because a lot of people inherit properties and they just poof, because they don't have financial literacy, they lose it. So we're here to help you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you have a better time when you might be able to join us live, let us know when that is. But as right now, we're going to be on. I usually come on sometime between 10:30 and 11 o'clock, and I have some little gold nuggets to help you on your way to home ownership or what to do with a family home that you inherited. So I wish I could end the videos better, but I have my business partner who, when she's feeling better, I think she'll be able to edit the back part out. So have an amazing day. I'm going to get back on. Thank you for joining me. Hey, I know I got 4 of you, so I need some thumbs up. Oh, I lost one. Thumbs up, subscribe, because that way when I put in the post what I'm going to be talking about, you can see what I'm talking about. And we'll see you soon. Have a great day.